So Donald Trump has officially won the US presidential election, and today we're going to see what that means for the economy and the stock market, because as you've probably seen this morning in pre-market, stocks are absolutely flying and loving this news. So let's take a look at what that means going forward. Hit that like button if you're new around here, subscribe. Let's get started. So as you've probably seen in pre-market, the stock market is absolutely flying off the news that Donald Trump has won the US election. The Dow is up nearly 2.9%, the S&P is up 2%, and the Nasdaq is 1.5% up. I believe the small caps as well is up something like 6% in pre-market. I've not totally checked it, but I saw a message on Discord saying that. So yeah, the stock market is seeming to love that Trump is the president. Before we do get onto that, I just wanted to just add on to yesterday's video something. And we talked about hims and hers, and I saw a lot of people like really fed up that the stock didn't do anything yesterday. You know, they brought out really good earnings, 10 out of 10 earnings, and people were like, oh, but it's not doing anything. And my answer to that is, you got to have patience, guys. You know, investing is a long-term game. That's investing, planning for the long term. And when you look at the long term, sometimes you just got to zoom out and you got to go, you know what? Yeah, it might not be doing anything today, but I'm still up 114% year to date. That's 5 times the average S&P. It's even more than that. It's over 10 times the average S&P's return. Like sometimes, guys, you just got to take a step back and go, you know what? Yeah, it might not have done anything yesterday, but the financials are moving in the right direction, which is the main thing. And eventually you'll be rewarded on the share price like you've done so far this year. You know, 114%, and today it's up 2.7% in pre-market, and it should do quite well going forward. Now, just a quick shout out, it is the last day of the Webull promotion, so if you do want to get the free shares worth up to $9,000, then the link is in the description, guys. This is your last chance to take this offer up. It's a really good one, that's why I'm promoting it. I don't normally do anything else outside of trading 212, but this is just such a good offer, guys, so there's your last chance. Anyway, getting on to the election. Trump has beaten Kamala Harris in the race to win the White House. I stayed up to 2:30 watching the results come in, and after about 1:30 I was thinking, this ain't going well for Harris. I think Trump might have this here, and then I thought I'm going to go to bed, and then I woke up this morning at 6:30, very tired, and thinking, yeah, that's it, exactly how it happened. And yeah, obviously the stock market is liking it. I even just made it a little bit spicy. I threw a little bit of money on the election. I did have a feeling that Trump was going to win it, and I'm very happy with the money that I made from that. I'm going to go treat myself to a Nando's somewhere. But yeah, pre-market obviously really good. The stock market likes that Trump's coming in. You look at SoFi up 5% in pre-market, which is great. Hims and hers up 4%. You got Alphabet even up 2%. PayPal up 2% today, back into the $80 range. DraftKings was up 4.2% in pre-market, obviously got earnings at the end of the week. Something that went a little bit under the radar is that there was also a couple of sports betting votes going on, if it should be allowed in some of the states. And it was in Missouri that they have actually passed sports betting, so really good news for DraftKings today. I would expect the stock to do really well off this news. You know, another state that's going to generate revenue growth for them for the next few years and profitability growth. You know, the access to another 6 million people as of 2003. So really good news for DraftKings as well last night. Tesla, as you would expect, having a good move in pre-market, up 13%. Obviously, we know the close connections that Elon Musk has had to Donald Trump during this election, and if it wasn't a Trump win, I'd have been a little bit worried for Elon Musk, but obviously it has helped him. You know, a lot of people say about that potentially Trump isn't going to be EV friendly or renewable energy friendly, but I think when you've got someone like Elon Musk backing you, I think he's going to give a few little pat on the back saying thank you, I'm going to take it easy on you. So that's probably why Tesla's rolling up a little bit as well. I mean, Enphase, when you do look at other kind of renewable energy stocks like Enphase, you know, Donald Trump is not a big green supporter, and you can see here that the Enphase is down nearly 12% in pre-market, and that's getting absolutely hammered. I want to see what Chinese stocks were doing, because Chinese stocks were kind of the you know, when we look at back what Donald Trump did on his kind of first 4 years, obviously one of the things that didn't perform well under Trump was Chinese stocks. And I thought, I'm going to see what Alibaba's doing. It's only down around 2-3% at the moment, so nothing too much. I think people are wanting to see what is Donald Trump's relationship to China going to be, and what's that going to mean for Chinese stocks. You know, Chinese stocks have had a bit of a rally this year, but obviously, you know, how aggressive is he going to be towards China? Is he going to be as aggressive as he was last time, which really hurt a lot of Chinese stocks when he was last in? Or is he going to go from a point of view going, you know what, I want to get a few trade deals going now this time, and maybe it's a good thing for Chinese stocks. So those are kind of the areas that are kind of suffering at the moment, but Probably the reason why the market's rallying so much is, first of all, interest rates. Last time I said that when Trump was in, any of you guys that were investing in the stock market then, or just had an eye on the economy, you'd have seen that Trump was very much against Jerome Powell. He did not like him. He was in the media all the time hammering. The GDP growth got a little bit slow in the back end of 2018, 2019, and he was going, you need to cut the interest rates. And the GDP growth, then compared to now, was even so much better. So if he was pushing for cuts back then, imagine what he's going to do now when he gets in power and GDP growth is even worse and he's got interest rates 3 times the rate of inflation. He's going to be, or 2 times the rate of inflation, whatever it is. It's way too high. I've said for too long that Jerome Powell has some blood on his hands that he's kept interest rates too high for too long. And I'm sure Trump will be very much pushing Powell to cut those interest rates, which I think is good. I think it's needed. I think we need the same thing in the UK market. But I think we've got a little bit of a weak UK government at the moment. I think interest rates need coming down. There's no point, inflation has come down now. We should have interest rates lower, so maybe the market's rallying up off a little bit of hope from that point of view. The other thing would be the tax windfall on some of the companies. Last time when Trump came in 2017, he did a lot of tax cuts for companies. US companies had a lot more profitability on their hands, and they said, what can we do? We're going to do share buybacks. And they did a lot of share buybacks, record share buybacks, and the stock market performed very well under Trump from some of these share buybacks. I think a lot of people were saying, he's going to be kind to companies, he's not going to slam on a lot of taxes for them, and that should be good for the economy. And that's probably another reason why the rally's hoping is that they're hoping that he's going to be kind to US companies, and they do very well. We've seen the complete opposite in the UK market, where we've had someone come in who's not a big fan of supporting growth from lower tax rates and letting them perform to the best of their ability, and we've seen how that has slumped a lot of UK stocks at the moment. But obviously we're having kind of the opposite going on here. And I guess the other thing that people are kind of hopeful for is that if Trump is able to kind of calm down some of the situations that are going on in the world at the moment. It's not been a great last couple of years for the world. Obviously, there was actually no war. That's the craziest fact there, is that there was no wars under Donald Trump when he was the president, and everybody said he was going to be a dangerous figure that could cause a lot of issues, and then you get no wars, and then it's funny enough, as soon as he goes out and a new president comes in, and then all these wars start popping up around the world. So there's probably a little bit of hope there in the rally as well, that potentially he's going to try sort some of these situations around the world. Obviously Ukraine, a lot of horrible things happen to Ukraine at the moment. Hopefully he can help Ukraine out. Russia, hopefully Putin and him have a little bit of a better relationship than what Biden did. Obviously that's at a historical low level, and hopefully he can build up some relationship to go on, Putin, mate, calm down a little bit now. I'll look after you. You need to get out of Ukraine. And there's sort of a peace treatment there. Obviously, I think a few people are looking at the whole Israel-Palestine situation and hopefully get something resolved over there, because obviously that's turning into a horrible situation as well. So probably a few people hoping that he calms down some of the conflicts that are going on in the world, which is ironic to what is, what Trump was always been shouted at as being a disaster for world peace, and we're looking at him now to hopefully try be the peacekeeper in the world and see what he's able to do there. So yeah, obviously, I can see why the stock market's rallying. I personally said, in my opinion, I think Trump will win. I thought it'd be close. I thought it'd be closer than what it was, but obviously has won. And I did hope Trump would win. I think he will be the better one for the US economy and for the US stocks. And we kind of see that coming in today with some of the rally going on. And hopefully he can deal with some of the situations in the world and try to restore a bit of peace in the world. Hopefully he can try to get those interest rates down that I think Jerome Powell has absolutely done a horrible job with as well. And hopefully he creates one of those, he creates an economy as well, once again, that is really good for us as investors, that the stocks do perform very well, and we see them go up. I mean, obviously the hope already is that we're seeing like the small caps and small market caps like the S&P 500 rallying off the belief that maybe he is going to put the pressure on for interest rate cuts, and that will help us do very well. So yeah, should be a good day out there. By the time you guys see this video, you'll kind of know the outcome of how kind of good day it is for the stock market. But yeah, overall, I think it was good news that came out last night for us investors, and hopefully you've seen some really good returns in your stock portfolio today. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you could hit the like button, I'll see you in a bit.